The summer that we were desperately waiting for finally arrived. My friends and I had made a plan to go for a vacation in an isolated and uninhabited island for a week. Actually, my cousin gave me the idea to go there, as he had been there with his friends the summer before. He had told me that the island was big and had a huge rustic cabin, and the good thing was, very few people knew about it. So it was completely vacant most of the time. However, only the side of the cabin was accessible, and it was prohibited to go to the other side of the island. No one knew what was there, but that wasn't a problem for us. We were going to have the entire beach and a cabin all for ourselves, so we were very excited. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. This will let you live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. So, for our full week stay on the island, we went to buy all the stuff we needed the day before we left. Yeah, we had to take all the supplies on our own, from food to water and other necessities, and there were 7 of us, me and my 6 friends, Gwen, Lana, Eve, Blair, Millie, and Maylin, which meant a lot of supplies. The next morning, everyone gathered at the port. We were getting to the island on a ferry, so we loaded everything on it and got on and left for the island. I tried to flirt with the young and handsome ferryman on the way, but I couldn't, as I have always been shy. So I just admired him from afar. It took us about 2.5 hours to reach the island from the port. That was tiring as hell, but turned out to be worth it when we saw the island and the beach. It was honestly one of the most beautiful things I had ever seen. Lana and Blair were screaming their lungs out in excitement at the sight of it. We got off the ferry and unloaded our supplies. The ferryman helped us take the supplies to the cabin. Oh man, I wish he would stay, I thought. But he didn't and left saying he'd be back to pick us up after a week. It would have been fun if he had stayed, Millie said as he left. I know, right? I replied. After that, we started exploring the cabin. It was huge, but nothing luxurious, just rustic, like my cousin had mentioned. And the things that set off our mood were that there were no service and there was no electricity, just some solar-powered bulbs and candles. So we thought we should go out to the beach and take enough pictures before we run out of our phone battery. We got into our swimsuit and went out to the beach. It was so beautiful, with clear, blue water. We started taking pictures and playing in the water. We were having so much fun, but it was getting dark, and we were tired too, so we decided to get dinner and sleep. The next day, something unexpected happened. It rained, and we had to stay in all day long because of that. This is so boring. They said it would be sunny all week long, Gwen said. Must be one of those unexpected clouds, I replied, and then we went to our rooms to sleep in. In the evening, the clouds cleared up, revealing a beautiful sky full of stars. That's when Eve suggested that we should light a fire and sit outside. And that's what we did. We lit a fire, sat around it, and started to talk. We mostly talked about boys, but then our conversation shifted to what might be on the other side of the island, that it was forbidden to go there. Are you guys curious to know? Maylin said. What if there are ghosts there? Blair replied. Or what if there are some dangerous beasts that can swallow us whole? I added. Come on, guys. If there were ghosts or beasts, why would they limit themselves to only one side of the island? That doesn't make sense, Gwen said. Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm going to explore the other side tomorrow. And who wants to go with me? Maylin stood up and asked. None of us were very keen to go, especially me. But Gwen told Maylin that she would go with her. The next morning, Gwen and Maylin set off to go explore the other side. They told us that they would be back in 4 to 5 hours before leaving. I thought they were joking about going, I said after they left. Me too, Blair replied. Then we went off for sunbathing on the beach and waited for Gwen and Maylin to return. But something happened that left us scared and confused. It was getting darker and darker, but Maylin and Gwen hadn't returned. We were all worried, sitting on the cabin's lounge area waiting for them, but they didn't come back even till late in the evening. We have to go look for them, Lana said. Like where? It's all dark, Eve replied. They're our friends. God knows where they are and what they're going through, Lana said again. I know we have to, but it's dark, and we don't know anything about where to look, so we should go as soon as the sun comes up. Till then, we can only pray that they're safe and well, I said. Blair, Millie, and Eve shook their heads in agreement, and then we went to our rooms to sleep. I woke up the next day and went down to the lounge where everyone had agreed to gather, but when I reached, I saw only 4 of us were there. Where's Millie? I asked. She must be sleeping still, Eve replied. So all of us went to her room to wake her up, but she wasn't there. We went to other rooms and everywhere around the cabin to check, but she was nowhere to be found. Maybe she had already left for the search, Eve said. Without telling us or waiting for us? Lana replied. We were getting more and more scared each passing second. But as we had said the night before, we headed out to search for them. We just kept walking and kept ourselves on the beach until some distance. We didn't want to walk through the trees as we were already scared. However, we knew that we couldn't skip that part. So we started walking through the trees. Blair and I were in front, and Lana and Eve were walking behind us. We walked a distance, scanning through the trees and the trail to look for footsteps. We had completely skipped the beach part, but still, we couldn't find anything. Our legs were getting tired, so I thought we should go out and rest on the beach for a while. But when I turned around to let Lana and Eve know, I was shocked. They were not there. But Blair? Oh my God. Where are Lana and Eve? I said, stuttering multiple times because of the fear. I don't know, Paige. What do we do? She replied. So we just started calling out their names and walking back through the same way we had come. Lana, Eve, please say something if you can hear us. I screamed and my voice echoed through the forest, but there was no answer from either of them or any of them. 5 of my friends had mysteriously disappeared. This must be because of whatever is on the other side of this island, Blair said, almost crying. That reminded me of all the horror movies I had ever watched in my life. I looked at Blair and she was as scared as I was, so we made a run for the cabin. We made it to the cabin completely out of breath. We immediately got in, locked the door behind us, sat on the sofa, and looked around to see if we were safe or not. After realizing that we were safe and catching our breaths, we finally started talking to each other. What is happening, Paige? Blair asked and began crying. I don't know why this is happening to us and who's doing this, I replied and hugged Blair. I was scared too. It was getting dark, so we lit up the bulbs and candles. But suddenly a huge thundering struck and it started raining, and not only that, the wind howled and extinguished all our candles. I think we should both sleep at the lounge, I suggested, and Blair agreed. We were both very tired, so we fell asleep as soon as we laid down, despite the wind, thunder, and the rain. I woke up early in the morning and the rain had stopped. However, I felt horror and a chill ran down my bone when I turned to the side where Blair was sleeping. She was not there. I wanted to tell myself that she must have gone to the bathroom, but I knew that wasn't true. She must have disappeared like the others, I thought. But I still checked all throughout the cabin and even outside and couldn't find her anywhere. So I came back to the lounge and sat on the sofa. I was so devastated and scared at that point. I didn't know what happened to my friends after they disappeared. I had so much fear in my heart that I was next. And the saddest thing was, I had no one to call for help. There was still 4 days till the ferry came back. Because of that, I couldn't hold back my tears and started crying. Right then, my phone vibrated, and there was a notification that the phone battery was down on 5%. After seeing that, I don't know what got into me, but I grabbed the phone and ran out of the cabin and looked around. I picked the tallest tree and started climbing to make it to the top. I was pretty good at it because of all the summer camps my parents used to send me to when I was little. After reaching the top, I tried to look if there was service, but there was none. Actually, it was foolish of me to expect it, so I started climbing down. But just as I was about to reach the bottom, my phone vibrated again, which startled me, and I fell off the tree and onto the ground, hitting my head, and immediately fell unconscious. When I woke up, I was in a beautiful room surrounded by the girls, and Maylin was putting an ice pack on my forehead, but I couldn't figure out if it was real or not. Plus, my head was hurting really bad. Am I dead? Are we all dead? I asked. No, silly, we're all safe and fine. You just need to rest now, Maylin replied, and I went back to sleep. After a couple of hours, I woke up feeling pretty fine and pretty mad. As soon as I got up, I shouted at my friends, "Is anyone going to explain what's going on?" We are so sorry, Paige. We just thought we would do a silly prank for fun, Maylin replied. Then Gwen started explaining that we were on the other side of the island. It was actually a private luxury villa owned by 3 young brothers, which no one knew about, and they had wanted it that way. But when she and Maylin arrived there, they instantly made friends with the brothers, so they welcomed her in. We wanted to bring you all here instantly, but we thought we'd have some fun and do a prank, and we chose you by lottery," Gwen ended. I was so mad, but the place was so amazing, and I used to prank them all the time as well, so I decided to let it go and have a good time there for the rest of the week. However, I was feeling a little empty. The brothers were hot, but I couldn't get the ferryman off my mind. But guess what miracle the universe did? We had to go back to the cabin from the villa to get our things for a while. Right then, I saw a ferry come our way, and it was the same ferryman. I ran towards his way while he got off the ferry. "It's not been a week yet," I said. "I know. We didn't have any bookings till next week, so I thought I'd come and spend some time with you," he replied. "With all of us?" I said in a flirty tone. "No, just with you," he replied. And then we made our way to the villa as I explained everything that had happened to him. Thanks for watching. Have your friends ever pulled any pranks like this on you? Let us know in the comments.